and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Real. I'm your host, Ysmaine, and here with me is Carlos. Hi, Carlos. How are you doing?
Hey, Nini, good, and you?
Good. I feel like it's been forever, but it's only been a couple of weeks, so
Yeah.
this is good. It's refreshing to be back, and we're going to be talking about a very popular topic today, which is scams in real estate and how to avoid them. Right. So there are so many different things happening, and honestly, there's always some new ones coming along
Yep.
that we're learning about or finding out about. But today we're going to talk about the most popular ones and to kind of give you some perspective, give you clarity and know what to expect and not fall for them. Hopefully once you are under contract, right? Or even before
And
that.
before we get going, if you like our content, please like and follow, share, and follow for more.
Perfect. We're going to be bugging with those a couple more times today. So as usual, before we get into it too far, we're going to be doing our myth of the day, which is definitely super related to today's topic. So if an email comes from my realtor, my title company, or the lender, it's automatically safe. Bang! Yes, it may seem like it's from us, but I would double, triple check that it is first, because scammers are getting very savvy when it comes to cloning emails, making it look exactly like it, signatures, you name it. So don't take it emails for granted. I would say picking up the phone and making a phone calls is still the best way to go, right, Carlos?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like I saw an article the other day. I don't know if you saw it, but they were doing a RON, which is a remote online notary closing, and it was with AI. And if it wasn't for the fact that the AI glitched and the title person caught it, they would have gotten away with it.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
the cloning thing and the like super realistic videos that are coming out there now, it's scary. Like
Yeah.
that is just the beginning. Like I can only imagine even just a year from now what's going to be like, because it's progressing so rapidly. Yeah.
Especially when AI is glitch free, because the only reason they caught it is because there was a twitch.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have a clone of myself, but it's super off still. Like the lips don't match, so you can definitely
Yeah.
tell that is a clone. But again, a year from now, I can only imagine how
A
great.
few months from now, it's gonna be perfect. You're gonna talk in Asian, and people think you speak Asian.
Yeah, and it's perfect. And even like with videos of news, fake news, there's so many fake news online now, and you like looking at it, like, there's no way, and it looks super real, and it's not. Like,
Yeah.
So a lot of people are falling for just scams because of that. Like even like family members, hey, grandma, the granddaughter calling the grandma asking for help with money, and you cannot tell. Like it's crazy.
Did you see the new that Google came out with their new AI? It's called VO3. Their video is so realistic. Like they did one of like people going to a car show, and you would think it was a real car show with people walking in the background and people being interviewed. I'm gonna look for it on social media. I'll send it to you, because
oh my gosh,
it's crazy how good AI is getting. It's scary.
It is scary. It is scary. And that's why I feel like this topic of the day is so important, because not just with AI, but in general, like people, scammers out there are getting super, super good at what they do. And the technology is definitely assisting them on getting even better with that. So we have to be triple cautious on anything, especially in real estate. When we're dealing with people with a lot of money, like there's a lot of money involved in real estate transactions. So we got to be super careful. So let's get into the real estate scams specifically and how to avoid them. What makes real estate a target for scammers? So you've closed a lot of deals over the years. So what do you think is the reason why real estate is such a big target?
I mean, there's a lot of money. It's a one-time hit. You know what I mean? Like, if you can manage to get somebody, like I saw this one time. One of my title partners told me about this deal where the lady received an email with wiring instructions, and instead of an L, it was a one or an I, or like they changed one letter in the email,
Hmm.
and the lady lost $40,000 instantly. She couldn't buy her house. Like that's why it's such a big target. It's because it's a one-time hit. It's
Yeah,
not like
yeah,
you're hitting a credit card here and there for $100, $1,000. Like
yeah,
some people are getting hit for $100,000. I mean,
yeah.
like in our market, we don't see those big of down payments. But when you go into like Florida markets, California markets, like those are big hits that they're getting. So I
Yeah,
think that's one of the reasons why it's such a big target for them.
yeah, the high dollar value, and I would say the high emotion too. I mean, people are invested, right? They want to buy a house. They want to be
Mm-hmm.
pumped on, like, hey, let me send this, let me answer this, let me sign this, because everything in real estate is such like, you got to follow the deadlines. So the
Yep.
clients are like, okay, let me do this. They request it, let me send it, and then they don't pay attention, and then this happens. So I feel like that
Especially,
couple of
yeah, I was
reasons.
gonna say, especially like when you have like first-time home buyers, that don't have a good team, like Nini or like myself, who walk them through every step of the way, and they're just kind of up in the air, you
Mhm.
know. It's more likely for those people to happen to because they don't have the guidance that's required so that they don't, get stuck. You
Yeah.
know, I have a situation I'm dealing with now, and it's not scammer related, but it's realtor. I don't want to say knowledge, but
Or
I
lack.
also don't know the word in English, lack thereof, maybe,
Yeah.
because so normally when you do a listing, right, you run your comps, right,
Mhm. Yes.
to know how much you can list a property for.
Hmm.
Well, the agent had the sellers pay for an appraisal, but it was a private appraisal, you know? So it didn't go by like, Fannie Mae or FHA guides. It was like a private appraisal that just like,
Gave them
this is what
value.
I want to hit, and they hit it, and they went out like 2 miles to find a comp that would get their number to where they needed it. And they're like, oh, and then the appraisal comes back, like from the sales price, it was about 11 grand. From the appraised value, it was about 50 grand off,
Oh gosh, that's a big
you know,
difference. Yeah.
on an FHA. And it's all about it, and what I'm getting to, it's all about the team that you have, you know what I mean, and their guidance for you, you
Yeah.
know. So
Prepare you for that transaction so you understand what you expect, what's right, what's not right,
exactly,
better
exactly.
expectations too. Yeah. I agree. I
So
mean, there's unfortunately there's a big gap, a big hole, I should say, in the real estate industry, especially on when it comes to the real estate side of like the rate agent side, where there's a lot of
yep,
inexperienced agents that really just don't know. And that the reason why I became a broker and I was a team leader before, a mentor, it's because I wanted to change that. There's too many agents that just don't know, and it's not their fault, because just getting the license to be an agent doesn't prepare you to be a good agent. So it's not necessarily their fault, but unfortunately is a true thing. There's too many inexperienced and not necessarily properly educated agents to better do
they're
assist
they're
prepare their.
good salespeople, but they're not really knowledgeable in their area. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and there's
it's
so many
unfortunate. It's
involved.
unfortunate, that we have to, deal with that. That's why it's very important that when you go and you decide you're gonna make the decision of, buying a home, you get with somebody who has a team, where like you have the lender is trustworthy, the realtor is trustworthy, the title company is trustworthy,
Exactly.
and it's like it's no one's new at this
No,
essentially.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Yeah, so let's get into what the scams
Well,
are,
let's get back
right?
to the scammers.
Yes. So you mentioned one. I think that's the most popular one, which is the wire fraud
Wire fraud.
during
Yep.
closing. So I would say on this one, just to kind of shine a light, it can be avoided fully. Like it can easily be avoided. And one of the things that I would say is pay attention to the emails, right, that you're receiving. and double check, pick up the phone and confirm, like, oh, I received this
Triple check.
email. Yeah, I received this email. Here are these instructions. Is this correct? Okay, let me call my agent now. Is this correct? Yes. Like, call a few people, double check
Let
before
me
you.
call title now and make sure they sent me this.
Did you actually send me this wire instruction? Yes, because I mean, seriously, we have to. We have to be. It's not shameful for a buyer to triple check on wire instructions, and we are expecting you guys as realtor, title, and lender to do that. We want you to come to us and ask, is this right? Is this true? Did you actually send this? Is this correct? That's what we want you to do, because we want to minimize any potential issues, especially when it comes to wire fraud, because that's when he's going to hit your pocket the biggest, right?
Absolutely.
During a transaction. So so looking up the emails, like he said, just one I, there was one instead of an I, or L that's capitalized or not, whatever, right? So it could be deceiving, little minor change that they do, and then the signature looks exactly the same, everything looks exactly the same. I want to bring an example of my own that happened to
Do
a
it,
client.
Nini. Do it. Do it.
Yes, I would do it. So this client.
And before she goes, like, share, and follow for more.
Yes, please do. We're always happy to share more content like this. So, like, share, and
go.
follow. So this client received an email from the lender. Okay, it wasn't the lender, obviously, but it did look exactly like the lender's emails, the signature. When you looked at it, it was, if you just glanced, it was the same email, but it wasn't, right? And my client's like, hey, and he actually didn't notice. He just asked me, legitimately just asked me, like, hey, I'm confused. Like, why are they asking me to send my down payment now? We're only closing next week. And I'm like, wait, what? Because you never send any payments ahead of time for closing. And that's just for you watching. That doesn't exist, okay? If your down payment is part of your closing costs, and you pay that at the table at the closing day, either with a cashier's check, or you can wire a day before or whatever, but never send just a down payment ahead of time. That doesn't exist. Right there is a big red flag, right? But I'm like, okay, well, can you send me what email you're talking about? And then as soon as I got it, I noticed, because I knew that the email was wrong, right? And I'm like, well, no, this is a scam. And it was very legit. It was asking them to, hey, wire the down payment ahead of time. They gave him a very scripted, very interesting explanation of why. I don't remember the details, but I was like, yeah, no, this is a scam. Like, just don't bother. Like,
so was it like was it the email address was correct also, or that was the tell, whether the email address was different?
Was the name of the lender just the same, like, first dot last name, kind of like what you usually do, and then at, and then the mortgage name was missing one letter. So if you just glance at it, it looked okay, but it wasn't. It was not. It was missing one letter. That's on the
crazy
side. Yeah. And the email was super professional, super well written, and explaining, here you need to send your down payment. So just know that doesn't exist. You never send any funds ahead of time. The only things you pay before your closing day is your home inspection, which you pay directly to the home inspector, your earnest money deposit, which is whatever you put it on the second page of your agreement of sale, which is something your agent and you are going to agree upon. And then your appraisal, which you pay to the lender whenever they tell you to. So those are the only 3 possible fees you may be paying ahead of closing. Everything else is paid at the closing day, which is usually 30 days, whatever time frame we have for closing. So never down payment ahead of time. And again, thank goodness my client followed my advice from the beginning and received the wire instructions and is like, hey, is this correct? No, it's not. So we saved it, but this one is a very common one. And it could come from lender, it could come from title, it could come from your own agent, so don't believe it. It's dead, but it's out there. Did you ever run into anything like that too, other than the one you mentioned?
No, I thankfully haven't ran into anything like that. I've heard like multiple stories. Like I heard of a bank that got scammed, and it was like a $500,000 loan amount, and they sent the $500K.
Oh no! Damn.
Yeah, it wasn't our bank. It was like one of those non-QM banks that sometimes we deal with and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, they got they got scammed by like 500K. I was like, oh man, that's rough. Like that's a big hit.
Wow. Wow. So yeah, so I think this definitely is a big one and it's the most common one. Um, Next one, it's not necessarily when you are under contract, but right before you get under contract, right? So it's a fake rental, fake listing that is for sale, and rent to own, which I think we should kind of break it down because they are different in different ways, right? Um,
Hmm.
so I would say rentals are very popular because that is the easiest one. They just get photos of a property to create this fake listing. And then they maybe even like letting you do the showing, but then they say you have to send a money for deposit or application money before you can even see the property. And boom, you lost money right there. So that is a very common one, unfortunately. People that are looking for rentals and they're desperate to find housing, they fall for
Really?
it on a daily basis. Yeah, they say, look,
I didn't know about that.
oh yeah, unfortunately. So they will say like, oh, this house is for sale, is listed for either for sale or for rent. Usually it's rental. And then they say, look, in order for you to schedule a showing, you need to put a deposit first. And then people think it's true, and they will put the deposit.
You know, now that I think about it, I've gotten asked multiple times, and I don't think this is a scam. I just think it's wrong.
Mm,
But I've been asked multiple times, by people, like how much is my application, or like like when they come and they consult with me and they ask me, oh, how much I owe you? I'm like, no, no, it's fine.
yeah.
But people actually charge for like consultations and they charge for applications like up front without even pre-approving them. Like they're charging them $300. Like I,
Wow. You know,
yeah. I
that's
had a client. I had a client in Florida, in Orlando, where I don't know who the lender was. It was a friend of the family, even worse.
my goodness.
And they were charging them like $250 just to fill out an application to tell them that they didn't qualify.
Wow.
I mean, I know that's not technically a scam, but I think that is a scam.
It's a scam. Like what you should not charge to do an approval application. Like,
No,
wow,
a consultation. Like, how do you charge for a consultation? Like,
yeah, that is
that's
nice.
messed up.
I could see like having a retainer, but not an actual like, hey, non-refundable deposit.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
No,
that
and it's
is
not like, oh, this is gonna go towards your appraisal when you're ready to buy. No, this is like this is
that's
the
just a fee.
application fee that you will pay before you even know if you're gonna qualify for, a, a hot dog stand.
Wow, gosh. Yes, I would say that falls under scam. I think that falls under scam. You should not be paying for your application. So if you're listening to this, do not. Like there's way too many options out there for you to be paying for an application
Yeah.
to qualify, or not to buy a house. So definitely a scam. I think the other one that I see, and I heard nightmare stories from clients of mine. It is the rent to own option. So there is rent to own websites, there is rent to own listings in Craigslist. Please don't trust Craigslist from all the places like
Oh my God.
a scam pro place. But anyway, so rent to own is when someone is looking to rent with the idea to become the homeowner eventually. But this is such a very complicated, I would say, piece of real estate that we see because it is a regular person, a regular dude out there putting their house in the market saying, hey, here you can rent to own. Paperwork is not done correctly, or the contract is completely biased to the seller, never to the buyer. Buyer has no
That's what
right.
I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Like I've seen, like I've done a few of these deals, where the buyer comes to me, and you have to be very, very careful because the writing, the small words or small
Like,
letters,
yeah,
the fine print, it's like, hey, listen, I'm gonna take your $5,000 or $10,000 up front now, and then if in a year you're not ready to go, I'm keeping your 10 grand and you're out.
yeah. And then they usually out and they keep the 10 grand.
Yep.
They're doing this and they don't even own the house. I've had that happen. The person gave a deposit of like $10,000 to rent to own, and when they went to move in, the house wasn't there. The person's house. Like they did no verification. It was not even their house. So
So they transferred the money, and then
when they went to move in, that person was gone. The house was not theirs. So I'm like, yeah. So there's a lot of scams out there. I would be super, super cautious.
wow, that's crazy.
Rent to own options. Do not send deposits until you have it. If you don't have an agent working with you, which you should, but if you don't, at least have an attorney overlook documentation. Pull up the deed, go to the township, pay $7 to get the deed. Make sure that person is actually the owner of the house you're trying to buy. Because you will say that $7 will save you a lot of money. So it's crazy.
$7 will save you $7,000.
$7,000, yeah. I mean, it's crazy the scams that people do out there. Or even it could not even be a scam. It could just really just be someone wrongfully creating a contract that gives the buyer no rights, or they are not even really allowed to buy. They're just forever renting, and there's no guidelines on what it's going to happen or not. The buyer is now stuck with a property and doing things to the property, and then the owner comes and take the property back, and the buyer has no guarantees whatsoever because the contract doesn't stipulate anything. So it's just you just proceed with caution for rentals and for rent to own options, especially because too many people doing wrong things out there, scamming, or just plan on just bad contract. Just have someone review before you sign anything or give any money to anybody. Be triple cautious about anything you do when it involves money and real estate, because there's just so much stuff going on out there. Anything else you want to add to this one?
No, I think I think we covered a decent amount of it. It's just be very careful if you're going down the road of the rent to own. Make sure you read the fine print, because it 9 times out of 10 is not written in your favor.
Yes, it is not, unfortunately. The next one we see now is foreclosures and the popular We Buy House scams. This one is it's everywhere. Predatory investors that are targeting sellers, that are looking for quick cash, and they are hiding fees, or they're doing the bait and switch contracts kind of deal. Or they have fake companies that are stealing the title of the property. So things like that, when it comes to foreclosure and those We Buy houses, that's definitely something you guys need to be very aware of, and be careful with it. I personally have not have any stories in regards to this. Did you have any experience with that at all?
No, not really. I usually, when I get a foreclosed deal, like a foreclosure deal, it has to go through the courts, and the courts have to approve it before we do anything. So, which takes some time sometimes, depending.
Yeah.
But no, I honestly haven't dealt with the cash buyers. It's more on the real estate side. Like you'll see a seller who got contacted by somebody, and then they felt something was off, and then they contacted the realtor, and the realtor's like, yeah, don't do that. And then the realtor gets the listing, and then they do things the right way. Sometimes the We Buy Cash, or buyers house for cash, you gotta be very careful. I do have a lot of, wholesalers I work with, and they do that, but they do their due diligence to make sure that,
Right? It is legit. Yeah. And the thing with foreclosure, a lot of people don't understand. They think, oh, I'm getting a great deal. It's a foreclosure situation. Foreclosure properties, when they are for sale, they're a regular sale. Like if they are for sale, that means that the bank already took ownership of that property back, and now they're being sold as bank-owned properties. And it's a regular sale. Nothing changes. Maybe you're getting a better price, but honestly, nowadays, they're just sold as is, and then market value. So it's not like you're getting, for cheaper. Now, when people think foreclosures, they're thinking like, oh, that person, a distressed seller, that is trying to get a better deal. I mean, that's trying to get rid of the property, but you have to buy it from them privately, directly from them in order to get a good deal, or have cash ready and then buy it from a sheriff's sale during auction time. Which again, if it doesn't get bought out by someone, then it goes back to the bank and is sold regularly as a bank-owned property. So
Right.
there's no like special deal with a foreclosure per se. And if someone is selling you on that, it's probably wrongdoing or a scam of some sort. Because again, they either are for sale on the regular market with an agent, because usually they get sold with an agent, like 99 times out of 10, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, usually, yeah, because I do have agents that do they're called REOs, where they'll have the contractor come in and determine, like, hey, how much is it gonna work? How much is it gonna cost to fix this so that we can put it on the market? How much are we gonna get for it?
Yeah.
And I've done a few REOs, so yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no special bullet there, magic, anything. So yeah, it's just be very careful with those. This is another big one too: fake agents and fake buyer scams. So yes, you could have an agent fake being an agent and do wrongdoings with you, have you sign contracts that are not correct. So always verify their license, make sure that they actually licensed with the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. We have a license number that we have to show, and you are able to verify that. Same thing with a lender. We say fake agent, and here it could be an agent from a bank, or it could be an agent from like real estate agent. So we all have licenses that you can go and follow up and verify that it's still up to date, that is valid, that is no processes to it against.
Yep.
Please do verify your agent's license. Ask for that number if you don't know, and make sure it's a valid number.
I believe in PA you have to have it like on your signature, right? Like you have to have it like on your emails that you send to clients and your business cards and stuff, right? Because we do.
We're not required to put it on the for sale signs in Pennsylvania, but we do put it in our email and business cards. So yes, they have to be displayed. So just double check on that. And then you also have fake buyers, right? So people that are faking that they're buying too. So we have fake sellers. That's something that we already kind of covered, but we do have fake buyers too. I don't understand exactly how this one works as far as the logistics.
How's a fake buyer?
Yeah, so I know that there's like this check that they will send that you have to deposit in your account. And they're just, so it doesn't impact the person per se. It's just a fraud on the bank, because they will reach out to the bank and say to cancel that check, and they get reimbursed for money that they never even had to begin with. So they have fake checks.
What?
So it's it won't impact the seller person, but it will impact the bank from that person's institution. So it's I haven't seen that as much. You see that on Facebook a lot. Fake buyers.
Like I like when you say fake buyers, the only thing that comes to me is like a straw buyer. You know what I mean? Which is like where you're buying this house, but you're not gonna live it. Somebody else is gonna be living in it. They just don't qualify for it, so you're buying it. It's called a straw buyer.
Oh, I see.
Something like that. But I've never seen, and I guess that could be considered a fake buyer, but
we could.
They're qualifying. It's just the person that's going to be responsible for it is not the person that's living in it.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So this is an interesting one. I think this is more like on the agent side. I think that you have to be cautious of who you're working with, because like if it's a fake real estate agent and you're putting a deposit, it could just collect your deposit and disappear on you, right? If we're collecting the EMD money, for example, or on the lender.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, I got that one. Okay.
And then on the lender side, the same thing. Like you're asking them to, like for example, to pay for your pre-approval, and then you're like not a real person, and it just disappear on you. So Yeah, so just verify license numbers, make sure that person who they are, and then they actually have an active license. Because there's just so many scams. I want to throw one more in here that is not part of our list, but
All
that
right,
happens on a daily
let's
basis,
hear it.
and especially right after a buyer buys a house, which is the deed scam. So as soon as a person buys the property, like a closing, you know that,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
absolutely. It's part of my spiel at the end at a
oh,
closing. So
I always
yes.
do it too because it happens. Like it's a guaranteed thing. You're gonna get in the mail. It's this final notice email that looks super legit. It's super scary because it keeps telling you final notice. If you don't pay for your deed, you're gonna not get your deed. You know,
And in the mail, they get it in the mail
you
too.
get it in the mail. Usually it's mail. You do definitely mail. It's about 120 some bucks now that they're asking for.
It
Because
used to be like $90 before.
it's inflation, so it went up to 120. I actually had a client of mine because I always laugh about it when we do closings. I always bring that up. And they sent me a photo and I said, "Hey, is this the one you're talking about? That is the scam?" I'm like, "Yeah." And it was like 120 some bucks. And I'm like, "Well, that went up." Inflation is impacting the scams too. But yeah, so that's
Wow.
one. You never have to pay for your deed. Never, ever. We can get you a free copy. You know, the title company can get you a free copy. And if you really don't have access to like your title company anymore or your agent, you can go to the township and pay $7 or so to get a copy of your deed directly from the township. But never ever trust mail saying that you have to pay to get a copy of your deed, because that is the most popular scam in real estate that I know of, is the deed.
Yeah.
So do not pay for deed at all. Another one too that is like 100% chance to happen is 2 to 3 months down the line after they close, they will be getting mail saying to insure the water lines and sewer lines, and then ask them to send a check for like $80 or something to insure the water lines from the property to the street. That is another one is a scam. If you send a check, you're never going to hear back from anybody. You're just going to send it to someone's bank, and that's about it. So that's another popular one I see. Anything that you see that I didn't mention?
No, I remember the deed one,
Yeah.
because that always happens. And then it's not really a scam, but I get a lot of people asking me about you know how they get the home warranty thing,
Oh yeah.
and and something that looks like it's coming from the bank, but it's really not from the bank. It's just that they know that they close with the bank. It's the one about insuring your home, like you know, like putting the life insurance on it, you know, so that
Yeah.
the home protection or whatever they call it. I
Yeah, you
don't know anymore.
passed away, you have an insurance, so your partner or spouse or whatever is not gonna have to pay or have to.
Yeah, yeah, which is not a scam, but you know, like
It's a
I usually
scam
tell.
because it's usually too expensive and he doesn't actually protect the people like he says he will. So
Yeah, well, that's true, and it's declining as the amount of your mortgage declines, which insurance shouldn't be doing that.
no, yeah, that is true. That's another popular one. So yeah, stay away from these altogether.
Yeah.
Yet, like the deed one, technically you do get a copy of your deed, but you are overpaying for it in a big time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I tell them like, hey, listen, like you're gonna get your deed because it's part of your title fees that you're paying for.
Yeah,
So
you're
when
gonna
you
get.
get that letter, just throw it out. Don't you know? And they make it, and I don't know like if you've seen it, but they've done like second attempt, third attempt, final attempt.
Super legit. They make it look super scary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my client's like, "Nini, are you sure I don't have to get?" I'm like, "No, I'm sure. Do not pay for this. It's coming." And then they get their original one and they're like, "Oh, okay, got it."
Yeah.
Like harassing the people. And if they don't remember what we tell them on closing, they might end up still, falling for it, because it does look legit, and it does kind of scare them, saying, "Hey, second attempt, final notice. If you don't
Yeah,
get it,
yeah,
you're never gonna get your deed. You're gonna lose your house."
yeah. I always tell them like, listen, when you get any letter you don't know, just shoot me a picture of it, and I'll tell you if you need to worry about it or not, and just go from there.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end, I think working with a realtor, and of course a good lender, but like the realtor is your first protection layer, right? I will connect you with a good lender that's going to be a legit lender that's going to do the right thing by you. I'll connect you with any contractors that you need. I'll be connecting you with the proper insurance companies. I'll be letting you know what, scams to avoid. So I feel like the realtor is really important for many different reasons, but being the scams one is a big one because we will be protecting you against anything that could potentially cause you harm during the real estate transaction. And I do mean from scams to wrongdoings in contract, to saving you money, to connecting with the right people like Carlos. So working with a professional, period,
Yeah.
is something that will protect you during the real estate transaction, so you have peace of mind that everything is going to be taken care of and you're doing the things that you should be doing and not doing the things that you should not be doing. Yes. So to summarize, a quick checklist for buyers and sellers. Do you want to go over that one?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'll let you take it away.
Okay. Got it. All right. So number one, always verify email addresses carefully. Watch for that 1, the I or the L, the O or a 0.
Letter.
Yep. Use secure communication platforms. I think that title companies have this pretty covered. Like a lot of them have, I've seen a lot of them have like Quaglia, and there's some other ones out there too that I've seen. But yeah, like that's definitely the way to go. Never send money without double verifying instructions. Like Nini says, like when you get the email, call Nini, call me, and then call title. Check 3 times before you send any money.
Yeah.
Don't trust any urgency or pressure. If there's any urgency or pressure, it's going to come from Nini or from me. It's not going to come from an email. You're going to get a physical phone call saying, hey, you need to do this. Yeah. The urgency is going to be, hey, please sign this document. Hey, please, you got a link for an appraisal, pay the appraisal. It's never going to be like, hey, you need to wire this money right now.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to get that email from any one of us. And work with, licensed professionals only, like Nini and myself, like make sure that the people you're working with, are knowledgeable in the area where you are expecting them to be, to put it that way.
Exactly. And with experience, I feel like that counts. Yes,
Exactly.
There's so many, and I did mention this in the beginning, there's so many agents out there that are licensed, that are legit. It doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to have a smooth transaction. So do your research, like go on Google, search them, make sure you look at previous
check for reviews. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're striving to do our best, and we value your feedback, and I do value mine, and I know Carlos valued his clients' feedback. And we are displaying that because we want you to feel comfortable working with us and knowing that we did a good job prior, and you should also be researching, just like you research a restaurant, just like you research a doctor's, like you want to research everybody you work with, and know that they have the experience and they have the knowledge and the expertise in the area that you're, looking for service. So, and this would be for any professional in any realm, really.
Absolutely.
Before we go, please like, share, and follow for
more.
And I think that's it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this, learned something from it, and remember the red flags that we pointed out today, because they are definitely out there, unfortunately. And I'm pretty sure there's so many more that we didn't cover today. But if you ever have questions about something, that you can just reach out to us. Our information.
Yeah, send us some that you've seen in the comments also. And we'll look into them and talk about it more on another episode. Absolutely.
Yes, please bring some ideas. We are always open to new questions that we can answer on air, so let us know. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good one.